Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to turn financial jargon into plain English. Maybe even a little bit of humor. Today we're diving into a filing that's all about a company trying to get its house in order by doing a bit of financial housekeeping. Think of it as a stock market makeover, and we're here to decode what it really means for DevvStream's Corp. If you like getting these kinds of breakdowns without the corporate fluff, make sure you're subscribed and consider joining our Discord server, linked in the description for more real-time insights. Alright, so DevvStream Corp has filed what's called a Form 8K. Now, don't let the fancy name scare you. This is essentially a report that companies file when something important happens that their investors need to know about right away. And in this case, the big news is a reverse stock split. What is a reverse stock split? Imagine you have $10 bills and someone exchanges them for $100 bill. Your total amount of money hasn't changed, but now you have fewer bills. DevvStream is doing something similar with its shares. They are combining a bunch of their shares into a smaller number of shares. In this filing, they are doing a 1-for-10 reverse stock split. Why would they do this? The filing clearly states the main reason is to boost the price of each share. They want the price to go above $1. The stock market, specifically Nasdaq, has a rule that generally requires stocks to trade at $1 or more. If the price stays too low for too long, a company can get delisted, meaning their shares can no longer be traded on that exchange. DevvStream is trying to avoid that and stay listed on the Nasdaq. So DevvStream's common shares, which are the basic ownership pieces of the company, are going to be consolidated. If you own 10 shares before, you'll own 1 share after. This sounds dramatic, but your overall stake in the company stays the same, just represented by fewer shares. This is usually done to make the stock look more attractive to institutional investors who might shy away from penny stocks or stocks trading at very low prices. This change is set to become effective on August 8, 2025. After that date, the shares will start trading on a split adjusted basis. This means that if you looked at the stock price before August 8th and then again after, it would appear to have jumped 10 times. But that's just because each share now represents 10 old shares. The trading symbol DevvS will remain the same. An interesting detail here is that the CQSCP number will change. Think of a CQSCP number as a unique identifier for a security. Like a social security number for stocks, this change signifies the material alteration to the shares themselves due to the split. Now, what happens if you don't own shares in a perfect multiple of 10? Like if you own 23 shares, after the split, you'd be entitled to 23 shares. Viling says they will round down fractional shares to the next whole number. This means if you had 23 shares, you'd end up with 2 shares and you wouldn't get any cash or script for that fractional 0.3 share. So basically those small fractions are being cashed out or just given up. This is a common practice though. Sometimes companies pay cash for fractional shares. It looks like DevvStream is not doing that here. So trading will commence on this new split adjusted basis with the symbol DevvS on August 8th. This is the day the market will see DevvStream stock at its new higher price per share. Let's talk about the number of shares. As of August 7th, there were about 35.4 million shares outstanding. After this reverse split, that number will drop dramatically to roughly 3.5 million shares. This is a huge reduction in the sheer number of shares, but again, not a change in the company's overall value. The company also mentions it continues to have an unlimited number of common shares and preferred shares for issuance, which means they can still issue more shares in the future. Importantly, the filing states that each shareholder's relative ownership interest and proportional voting power will remain virtually unchanged, except for minor changes and adjustments that will result from rounding down fractional shares of common shares into whole shares. This is key. Your percentage of the company hasn't magically increased or decreased. It's just your piece of the pie is now made up of fewer bigger slices. DevvStream's transfer agent, Continental Stock Transfer and Trust Company, is acting as the exchange agent for this reverse stock split. They are the ones who will handle the administrative side of changing the number of shares each investor holds. We also see a mention of a press release issued on August 6th, 2025, announcing this reverse stock split. This is what's known as Regulation FD disclosure, which means they are making this information available to everyone at the same time, preventing unfair advantages. So we have that initial press release as an exhibit, which by the way is being furnished, not filed, meaning it's for informational purposes and doesn't carry the same legal weight as if it were officially filed. And finally, under exhibits, we see the Articles of Amendment, which is the official legal document for the split, and that press release. So what's my take on this? DevvStream is in a situation where they need to bolster their stock price to meet Nasdaq's listing requirements. This reverse stock split is a common tactic for companies facing this challenge. It's a way to avoid delisting and potentially attract a different kind of investor. However, it doesn't fundamentally change the underlying business if the company's operations don't improve. The stock price could continue to struggle even after the split. The rounding down of fractional shares means some smaller shareholders might see their holdings slightly reduced without compensation, which isn't ideal for them. The real test for DevvStream will be whether this move, combined with their actual business performance, can lead to sustained growth and a higher market valuation. Keep a close eye on their future filings to see if this financial maneuver translates into tangible business success, growth, and a higher market valuation. Keep a close eye on their future filings to see if this financial maneuver translates into tangible business success. Alright, that's our breakdown of DevvStream's reverse stock split. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps. And subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.